Guys, in this video, I'm giving you 12 attacking football hacks that are going to help take your game to the next level. I'm going to show you each one. If you apply all of these things to your game, especially if you're an attacking player, you're going to find that you're going to be more dangerous. You're going to be scoring more chances, creating more chances, and just overall become a more impact player for your team. This video is sponsored by Rugged Sports, where you can actually enter to win a free goal from them. I love these goals. They're so easy to assemble, and you're able to use them at a field where you may not have anything else to use, no goals, no equipment. And I love to use them for my own training sessions, whether I'm by myself or with someone else. They're great for team trainings, and the great thing about these goals is they only take a couple of minutes to put up and to take apart, and they also come with their own carrying case so that they're easy to transport to and from the field. Let's get into the video. All right, guys, first hack is constant checks, and this is not just good for attackers, it's good for all players. But you need to know what's going on around you, and if you don't know what's going on, then it really doesn't matter how good of a player you are, because you're not going to be able to exploit space, you're not going to know what runs to make, you're not going to know when you can attack someone, when you have someone on your back, when you have a chance to shoot. You need this awareness, so you want to be looking over your shoulder, constantly scanning the space on the field every 2 to 3 seconds. And if you look at some of the best players with the best awareness, you'll see them doing this. You know, if you're a striker and you're trying to check to the ball, or you see open space, you're not going to know it's not there if you're not scanning over your shoulder. Maybe you see there's space and you can make a run, and you're scanning and you see the run, and then you can make a looping run into that space and potentially get the ball. So that's the first one, is make sure you are constantly checking over your shoulder, seeing where all the space is, even if you don't think you're going to get the ball, because things can change quickly and you need to be aware of what's going on moment to moment if you're going to exploit the space and be a more dangerous player. Next hack, guys, is keep the ball moving. And the reason for this is you are going to be easiest to defend for the most part, and we'll go over an exception to this later. But for the most part, when you're just standing still with the ball motionless and you're motionless, this is the easiest situation for most defenders to defend you in. They can think about what they're going to do, they can wait for backup. So something you want to do is try, if you can, to always keep the ball moving. Now, why is this? You're not giving the defender a moment's rest. You're not allowing him to make a decision. He has to follow you. He can't let you go. He can't think about what he's going to do next. He doesn't have that much time. He has to just react. By keeping this ball moving, you don't allow him to do that. You keep him on his toes, and you also allow other things around you to change. So keep the ball moving, unless you're staying still for a strategy, like you're slowing it down so you can then speed it up. But I've found, especially when I'm in tight space, continuing to keep the ball moving, to keep taking even little touches, to keep the defenders on their toes, makes them nervous, encourages them to dive in sometimes, which is exactly what I want, or causes them to back off, which is also something I don't mind them doing. So when you're in these attacking positions, you're not going to pass it, you're going to run at them, or you're going to do something else. Keep the ball moving, keep these little touches going, keep the defender on their toes. All right, guys, hack number 3 is to change speeds, and to do it very often. Something that is very easy for defenders to defend is if you're constantly moving at one speed. This can be when dribbling the ball, this could be when you're making runs. You want to, in certain instances, change speed to go from slow to fast or fast to slow. You know, an example of this is making different runs. You're not gonna be going the same speed unless you can exploit space very quickly when making a run. Usually you want to kind of go at one speed and then change direction and burst into space with your run. It's the same with a skill move, right? If you have the ball and you think you could beat the guy with speed, maybe you do a few moves, you tease him, and then you quickly burst into space. But if I was to do that exact same thing and I didn't use that change of direction, I'm not really going to beat anyone. I could come here and, you know, do whatever, and then I go like this. He's going to be able to follow me. So utilize changes in speed, changes in direction, going slow one way and then quickly changing it up. That is going to help you beat players. It's going to help you on your runs. It's going to help you in a lot of situations. Just remember to make sure you're not always going at the same speed, to change it up. I think Thierry Henry even mentioned something like this. He loves players that are able to bring another player to a stop, slow their momentum down, and then quickly change speed to beat them. Next, guys, is just an idea, and this is something I think all attacking players need to have in their repertoire, because to be a player that plays simple all of the time, there's 1,000,001 of those players, and yes, most of the time you will be playing simple. But if you want to stand out as an attacker, you need to be taking calculated risks. You need to be unpredictable. And so what this means is, if you're always doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to be predictable. They're going to know what you're going to do. For example, if the only move you can do is a step over, you might beat him once or twice, but he's going to eventually know, okay, this guy's just got the step over in his repertoire. If you keep making the same kind of run, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you get the ball and immediately give it away and don't try and attack anyone. Defender's got you right where he wants you. He knows what you're going to do. So you need to have the skill set to be able to mix things up. But even after having the skill set, you then need to have the balls, for lack of a better term, to actually perform those skills in a match. So having multiple skill moves you can do, even combinations. Maybe you do a step over this way, and next time, because you think he's going to read it, you come on inside like that. Maybe when you're near the 18-yard box, you always pass it off. And so next time, you make it look like you are, and then you try and smack it near post. Whatever it is, guys, try and mix up your game to make yourself an unpredictable player, because not only is that going to help you do more damage to the opposition, that's going to make defenders nervous. If they can't pin you, if they can't know what you're going to do, if they have to keep guessing, then it's going to put them on edge. And the more you can get in a defender's head, the more you're going to be able to beat them. Luis Suarez used to do this all the time because he used to harass them. He used to do different things. He'd score goals from anywhere. So they would always have to be thinking, crap, I can't let him shoot from 30 yards out because he can score that. Crap, I can't let him come in here because he can beat me one-on-one. Crap, I can't. And that opens up so many more possibilities for you. Okay, so here's the next one, guys. Now, this is going to apply especially to wingers and to you strikers as well, but I think especially to wingers, and it kills me when I don't see wingers doing this enough. And it's when you get isolated and you can run at someone, unless there is an obvious better option, like you can thread someone who can get in on goal. Unless that's available, run at the defender. Put him under pressure. Nothing is going to make a defender more nervous, especially if you're a skillful attacking player, than running directly at him, keeping the ball close, so that if he tries to dive in, you can take it past him. But nothing's going to make a defender more nervous than you running at them, performing some moves, putting him under pressure. Put the defenders under pressure. Now again, don't be unpredictable. Don't do this every single time unless it's working every single time. I should have mentioned that in the last one. If you're doing the same thing over and over again and it works every time, keep doing it. However, mix this up, but run at him, especially if there's space to run into and the defender is isolated. And when I see wingers not doing this, or strikers when they could run at the last man and potentially get in, when there's lack of any other option or a better option, it kills me, because as an attacker, the skill set of being able to run at someone, pull the move, come into the box, or cross it into the box because you beat them is so valuable and so dangerous, and will help your team out in many ways. Okay guys, so next hack is not one that necessarily involves the ball. This involves off the ball movement. And what it is, it's not always running in a straight line. Now, straight line runs, where you just come from here to here and run straight, can actually be beneficial if it's obvious to do that. For example, if a ball's coming through here and I can run onto it here. However, it's also very predictable. So one thing you want to get into the habit of doing is making curved runs. And I would say, especially if you're getting a cross into the box, that's what you want to do. So if I have a cross coming in from out there, maybe I fake here and curve my run here. Now, there's a few reasons for this. One, it helps me get away from the defender. But check out how my body's going to be if the ball gets to me. I'm over here, so I actually have my body open to the goal, and then I can volley it in. Where if I just do a straight line, so I do the same thing, but I just go straight like this, I now have to kind of shuffle to turn. I don't have a good body position to then strike the ball if it comes in. But if I do this little run, little fake, shrug off the defender and curl my run, then I can come onto that ball, use my momentum to get power into it and score. And this goes for other runs on the pitch, not just into the box, being able to fake and then curve your run. But just start experimenting with more than just straight runs. Now, sometimes, again, that's the one to do. It's obvious, right? Like if the defender's not paying attention or you're faster and you can just run straight ahead of him, take that opportunity. But when you play better teams, especially better defenders, they're not going to fall for that as often. You need to check, you need to fake, you need to curve, you need to do different runs, you need to check and then spin into space. So make sure you're working on these different runs, because especially as an attacker, if you're not finding space, you're not getting the ball, you're not going to be able to do any damage.
Stop making a big road and I'm niggas, let's get rid of me. Stop making a big red thing, asking for what you